I'm going to give you guys something today to sit on and think about. And after you see this, you're not going to be able to unsee it. I'm hoping there's still a few stragglers on the fence that just need a reason to abandon Trump. And so I'm going to give you one right now. Now, in the book of Daniel, chapter 8, we read about a prophecy. Daniel had a vision where he saw two future empires. When Daniel had this vision, he was living under the kingdom of Babylon. But soon after that, the kingdom of Persia came. Cyrus came. You guys know the story, the writing on the wall that you have been found wanting. And then that night, Persia invaded and destroyed them. So Daniel had a vision that that was going to happen. He had a vision that Persia was coming and that also Alexander the Great was going to follow after them. And then he had also saw that there's going to be a last kingdom after Alexander that would occur at the very end of time. And that was the kingdom of the beast. But in Daniel 8, it tells us that the kingdom of Persia that was coming was represented by a ram. And it said there was a ram and it showed up, had two horns. You can go read it. It's in Daniel 8, folks. And then another animal showed up, a goat that didn't even touch the ground. It was very swift, it was fast. It had one horn between its eyes, and that was the kingdom of Greece. It was Alexander the Great. And Alexander conquered most of the world in 12 to 13 years. He did it fast. So that's what this prophecy vision was about. His feet didn't touch the ground. The goat of Alexander had a notable horn between his eyes, and after a while, that horn broke. And then four horns grew out of it. And what that meant was that the generals of Alexander, because Alexander didn't have a descendant to take over, so the generals divided up the kingdom of Greece amongst themselves. There was four of them, and for a few hundred years, that's what happened, and then Rome took over them. But it's interesting. It says that when Alexander's horn broke, four small horns rose up, and that was the generals. And then it says, but then one little horn came out of the four, and it started speaking great things. And the horn grew great, and it waxed great to the south and the north and to the east. This is the little horn of the end times. This is the little horn of the Antichrist, the man of sin, the son of perdition, the final world leader that would rule the world until Jesus came back and returned and put a stop to him and grabs him and throws him into the lake of fire. That guy is Donald Trump, because that horn that rises out of the remnants of Alexander, that horn comes from a goat. Alexander is represented by a goat, ladies and gentlemen. The prophecy teachers who are still stuck on the Hal Lindsey doctrine, the pre-trib, the John Hagee, Tim LaHaye fiction, fable that's not true, have convinced a lot of you that the Antichrist is going to come from Rome. And that's why some of you are saying it's going to be Prince Charles. But if you look at the book of Daniel in chapter 8, it says that the little horn comes from Greece. So, folks, right there, we got to own that. So that means take the Rome opinion and throw it into the garbage because it's not true. Now, when you look at what it says about the goat of Greece, it says that he became great. And of course, Alexander was. Alexander the Great. History calls him that because he was great. But he was powered by a beast creature that came out of the earth. He had a principality behind him, helping him conquer. So he was a goat, though. Keep that in mind. The little horn then rose up out of a goat. So the little horn comes from a goat, ladies and gentlemen. The little horn Antichrist comes from a goat. And how interesting is it that Donald Trump is using a goat to represent his administration and what he's going to do? Trump put a picture of a goat looking in the mirror, and of course the goat stands for greatest of all time, G-O-A-T, greatest of all time, a goat. But it gets worse, folks. By the way, that's fulfilling prophecy because they're using a goat the same, just like Daniel 8 tells us. But recently, there was a story that I didn't think it was true when I first saw it because it sounded so unbelievable. But an artist made a statue, an idol, an image of a goat, and he covered it with $100 bills, fake ones, that have Donald Trump's face on it. And instead of it saying, "In God we trust," it says, "In Trump we trust." Look at this picture right here. So now we have a goat representing Trump in real time, covered with $100 bills that are blaspheming God because Trump is now taking over the name God. Now, in this image right here, look at this, folks. Daniel 8 tells us the little horn comes from a goat. Here we have a goat. It says he will blaspheme God and consider himself as good as God or better than God. Right here, in front of all of us, the name Trump is taking over God. And in Daniel 8, it calls him a little horn. Look at this, folks. Trump is taking over God. What is a horn? A horn is a trump. Trump is the little, his name, it's right there in front of all of us, folks. It's right here. How can this be denied? Some of you are going, what? How can, this is just a weird coincidence, right? No, it's not. Trump is fulfilling it right in front of our face. And what does GOAT represent? What is the word? G-O-A-T? Great. Greatest of all time. What does Daniel 8 say? The little horn would wax great. The little horn from a goat, Trump from a goat, would wax great. So now we have a goat, we have the word great, we have little horn, which is Trump, and then it's at Mara-Lago right now. And by the way, that statue, that image, is going to be auctioned off on February the 27th to the highest bidder. They can take it home and take the golden calf of the Antichrist with them. Donald Trump, by the way, signed it with a gold pin, and he said, I love you. Project GOAT, fulfilling prophecy, proving that the Antichrist is here. It's right in front of us, folks. And this isn't the only one. I have so much more. And this right here needs to demolish your association with MAGA. Flee from it, my friend. It is abominable. And it's going to lead the church first to take the mark of the beast. Elon's going to bring the mark. This is going to spread worldwide. The mark is coming through Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the second beast. Folks, escape it, flee it, and get back into the fold of Jesus, because we're here. We're in the end times. And as I stated in my previous program, if Donald Trump is not the Antichrist, the best that we have is that he's a tyrant. He's Hitler. The Constitution's already gone. We're in a dictatorship. By the way, announcement, the United States no longer exists. We're done with that. So if you want to know more truth, follow me for more. If you want more information, you can go to my YouTube channel, Watchman's Cry, and I have all sorts of studies. I have a lot of information. I have biblical proof just like this. So do yourself a favor, my friends, and go find the truth. I have it right there for you. Check it out. God bless.